Hi, my name is Cy Porter, and this is a tutorial on creative writing. Subject today is overall mood. So, while writing a story, it's good to really get into character and to really think about the particulars of each scene that you write. And the more mentally that you are there in the scene, the more that you can write in such a way that draws your reader into that scene. That said, um, sometimes there's um, a conflict between the mood of scenes that you're trying to write and the overall mood of the story. So, as an example, you're going from scene to scene, and there's no continuity of mood from scene to scene. So it becomes a jarring experience for the reader, and that jarring takes the reader out of the story and makes it more difficult for them to get lost in the story. So, you've done your first draft or second draft, and you're looking at the flow of the story. And what you can do is put yourself in the mind of the reader, the mood of the reader. What mood do you want to take the reader kind of on an emotional ride, and so from scene to scene you kind of want to bring them into happier, bring them into scared, bring them into sad. And you don't want to just like, okay, now you're going to be happy. Okay, now it's a scary scene, you're going to be scared. You want to realize where you're taking them, and steps in your writing that can make that process go more smoothly. So if you're writing a horror story, you don't want the whole thing to be, you know, dreary and frightening all the way through, or emotionally your reader is just going to be, if they ever were scared, they're going to get kind of worn out with that. I mean, if you can bring them from happy into, you know, a good scary horror scene, that's much more effective. And you know, it isn't uh, for no good reason that a lot of horror films are also very funny. They have very funny scenes, and they bring in actors that can be really funny, because to take someone from laughing to scared is really effective for entertaining. So if you know that the following scene is going to be a, let's just say, a chase through the streets of London, then knowing that, you can consider the overall mood of the previous scene, not for its impression on the reader, but what impression the you really want the chase through the streets of London scene to make the big impression on your reader. So the previous scene, you can let that kind of be the setup scene, mood wise. So you can have it be, in contrast, much more still. It could be, two people talking about something that just barely touches upon the plot. And then what you're doing, then the reader, by going from first to second scene, feels like they're thrown into something where all of a sudden it's sped up. And but if you write the earlier scene sped up, they're not going to feel like the second one is sped up. They're, it's just, it won't have the impact. But if you go from a quiet, mildly humorous scene into, a sped up scene, then it will leave an impression. It will make them feel like, they were relaxed, and now everyone's going crazy running around. So
I hope my tutorials are useful to you. I post them to get the word out about a story I'm working on at solomation.com. I post free episodes of my illustrated story, so if you have a few minutes, please check it out. Thank you, and I hope your next writing session is a good one.
So recently, I have been working on a character who I need him to be confrontational because that's very important to the plot. But the problem is that I was having him start out, very confrontational all the way through, so that when it got to the scene that was the really important one, there wasn't anywhere to go. So I could still have him confrontational in earlier scenes, but I really, tuned down the volume on that factor. I really, really wanted to play it down and just have him just barely hinting at having that part of his nature, because I wanted the earlier scenes to be a lot more tranquil, a lot more, everyone's at peace, everything is fine, because then I have somewhere to go. Then when it's time for the wind to hit the sails, I need the sails to be, you know, relaxed in order for the wind to be able to hit the sails. But overall mood does not just apply to dramatic writing. You can liken it to being, a composer of a symphony who, you know, brings the viewer along in these, takes them through these valleys of emotion and mountains of emotion and through underwater of emotion, through takes them on this emotional journey. So if you think of yourself not just a storyteller, but someone who is bringing someone along on an emotional journey, you can compose your piece. You can kind of guess where the reader is at, and if they're mildly happy, you can then take them from there into the, and then you're always taking them from one place to the next place emotionally. And if one scene emotionally and mood wise is very different from the next one, account for that and use it to your advantage. It could be, the big, wind hits the sails, or you might want to, make it a little bit more of a gradual change from one extreme to another. But looking at your piece through this lens, through this type of focus, can really be effective storytelling. I hope that helps, and I hope your writing goes really well. And please take the time to look at my film work at solomation.com. Have a good day.